Five Nights at Freddy's is a series that's very near and dear to my heart. I've played all the games, seen every single MatPat theory he's put out, and I've even read the books. Another one of my one true loves has been very well documented. Minecraft is a game I play every single day. So why not put them together? Whilst I show you me building the front of the pizzeria, I'm going to explain some of my thought process about building this. Mainly, which game's pizzeria have I built? So I'm using the layout of FNAF 1 while also adding design elements from the film because we have no exact model of the outside of the first game's restaurant, and I have to make do. Honestly, the first game is my favourite of the first four games, which was my main reason for building this version. I'm making the outline, as you can see in the replay, whilst copying this map exactly. It's not going to be a huge project, but this Fazbear restaurant wouldn't have been, considering in the timeline it comes after FNAF 2, meaning all the missing children incidents would have happened already, and they probably would have been working with a tighter budget, as seen in the lack of animatronics. I'm going to make up for the lack of building by stretching my very limited redstone ability to the max to try and make this place super cool. Whilst I'm building the fronts outside, I think you can clearly see the film inspiration. I've used the same sort of colour palette, and I've definitely taken inspiration from the shape of the building, while also staying true to the map of the first games. The iconic blue roof is there, along with the weird yellowy red walls. One thing I do wish to address after showing me building this is, well, it's not exactly the prettiest, is it? Well, the official answer I'm going to give you is it's meant to be rather off-putting. I mean, do you think William Afton, of all people, cared about what his building looked like? Because I certainly don't. One way I am going to make it look better is by using the texture packs. I've spent some time making a texture pack to add some designs and patterns, not in regular Minecraft, that should make it look better. Done, and my texture pack additions pulling it all together, I think it's time to turn my attention to the rest of this building, including the security office, storage cupboards, and the two main hallways. As you saw before, my texture pack changes these paintings into barely legible posters, promoting all the goodies Fazbear has to offer. There are several designs I've gathered from the depths of Pinterest. However, you can't really tell. However, that doesn't matter because, I mean, no one's looking too closely. Even though I suppose it isn't possible to look too closely. So, let me just add these to the walls. And we can move on to the main bit of the restaurant. Like I said in my other time lapse, I am taking quite a lot of inspiration from the film, which is why I've done the red, checkered, and yellow walls. And I'm doing that for the whole building. I just want you to know, I know in the game it's all grey, but this is what I'm going for. For the outside of the building, I'm going to be doing exactly the same thing. So, if you'll just bear with. Now we can get on to the fun stuff. One thing I do want to note before I continue is the holes in the wall that might be noticed by eagle-eyed viewers. Now, this isn't me wanting that OSHA-regulated ventilation. No, these are going to be the kitchen/hallway, Foxy's Cove, and cupboard, respectively. I will get back to it, and I will get back to the roof. Let me just take things one step at a time. Now, vibes-wise in here, I want to make people feel things, you know? And by things, I mean discomfort, disgust, and abject repulsion. And I mean, what's more grim than muck on the floor? There we go, that's exactly what I was picturing. But I mean, a respectable business can't expect paying customers to eat on the floor. So it seems tables are the next step. And trust me, we'll need this many tables for the many people who I'm sure are chomping at the bit to get a reservation for this restaurant. And when thinking of decorations to add, I have to admit I was fairly stumped, which is why the results are rather uninspiring. However, I've added some balloons, various posters on the walls, and I've added some cutlery to the tables just to make it feel more lived in. And then I've done a prize counter over here, as you can see. If you go in, you can get whatever you want with the tickets that you've won from the existing arcade, which definitely exists. Don't look into it too much. And then back here is nothing. Back here is nothing. So we're going to ignore that. But now that we've done the decorations, I think this main part is done for now. You know, with all the decorations added, it really is coming together. I know I still need to do the roof, yes, and, well, there are no animatronics quite yet. But I mean, other than that, I think it looks quite good. Anyway, now it's time to turn my attention towards our favourite Kennedy scallywag and tackle Foxy's Cove. So this is me just quickly showing you how I built it. I have switched them over. So previously in other clips, the smaller one is the cove and the bigger one is the cupboard. But then I realised the cove probably needs more space, you know, and the cupboard probably doesn't need that much space. So I've switched them over. Okay, I'll admit while it looks kind of dead at the moment, I promise that it's going to look better later. Anyway, now that's done, it's time to move on. Now on to what people call the heart of any building. And by heart, you mean the decaying centre of... Ugh. Anyway, with a quick transition, boom. We have both the corridor and the main kitchen in all its health violation-y glory. The most important thing I need to add here is the appliances which are needed to create those fazza sauce pizzas children are just chomping at the bit for. That's why a lot of smokers are needed. Approximately 20. Furnaces aren't the only machine needed to acquire that plasticky taste. We need counters, we need fridges, we need sinks, we need some hobs, and we also need a storage area. The kitchen is now practically done, and I do hate to say it, but this corridor will be another that we have to come back to. So both of them finished for now. I'm going to move on. The security office is where we spend the entire game in FNAF 1, so it's the room that I have the most direction on how to decorate. However, this space is rather small, so I'm going to have to be quite efficient with how I decorate it. I'm going to try and keep it as accurate as possible, but I do have the constraints of, you know, being in Minecraft, so that's not going to help. Don't worry, the doors and windows will be done in a minute, but I'm just going to focus on decorating first. Now, completely coincidentally, I did in fact manage to get the exact poster that's in the actual office. That's one of the ones I used. So luckily, we're going to use this. But first, I need a desk, because it's the main feature of the room. I was going to use tough walls to make the desk, but realised I hated it. So I'm going to be horrifically basic and just use stairs and slabs to make the desk. But anyway, with that on, we can add the painting right up here. And then for the drawings, low-key, I couldn't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered to put more in. So that's what we're going to deal with for now. On to the stuff on the actual desk. Computer-wise, I don't know, maybe just this? Because I have very limited space. I might come back to this. Because that honestly looks really bad. Might add a pressure plate or something. Anyway, oh, I can't put that there. Because what else do we need? We need Carl the Cupcake. Oh, I didn't realise that floated. We're going to have floating Carl the Cupcake, because how on earth am I meant to get a cupcake in Minecraft? And I'm not using an actual cake, because that would look awful. So we've got dodgy computer, floating Carl the Cupcake, and then fan. I really wasn't sure on how to do the fan. So I might have to brainstorm that and come back to it. Oh gosh, I hate that I'm coming back to it all, but I just low-key have no idea. Because decorating in Minecraft is hard. We are very, very limited blocks-wise. Okay, give me like 2 minutes. This is what I've gone with. Please don't laugh. I know it looks awful, but I'm struggling. Okay, let me explain myself. Let me see if I can get out of this. Kept the poster because that's just too perfect. I've outdone myself there really. The pictures in the real office are white. Obviously, they're drawn on white paper, and then these are white. That's the only defense I have. I've kept floating Carl. Computer screens. I can't really defend myself. I just it's really tricky without mods, and I made the texture pack before, and I can't be bothered to change it again. So we've got dodgy computer screens, dodgy keyboard, candles because I needed to fill the space. And this is what I've done for the fan, purely because it moves. And I think, to be honest, this is the most believable of all of it. So I don't want to hear any. No, it's fine. I don't care about. Oh, it looks bad. And this is the office chair. You are quite low. Okay, well, this is the office chair. This is the office. I'm moving on. Out of sight, out of mind. There are 2 storage cupboards on this map, which we don't really see, which means I have full reign to do what I want in them. I'm just going to make them pretty standard cleaning cupboards, so I've already built this one. And now after building this one, we can build the most fun and certainly necessary things in this establishment. Cleaning supplies. Because trust me, this place needs them. Minecraft does, however, have a distinct lack of cleaning supplies in the game. I mean, who would have thought no vacuum in Minecraft? That's just shocking. Because of this, I do have to get rather creative with how I'm going to decorate them. We can obviously put some easy things in, like a sink and then a bin. So we just... I don't know, that looks like a bin. Then we do some storage as well, some shelves. Okay, I'm going to move this along. I don't like that that's in the corner. But when we put this down, those 3 are pretty good. Now I'm just going to figure out how to do like a mop. I'm not really sure. I don't use storage cupboards that often. I don't really know. Okay, I low-key had no idea. So I'm going to leave this as this. Because, guests aren't meant to come in here anyway. It's restricted areas. And I've just done exactly the same thing with the other one. Because, again, I had no idea. And it's restricted. And, quite frankly, I don't care. So, there we go. I think the interior is done. And in my opinion, I think it looks very, very nice. Now, it's time to move our attention towards the exterior of the building. Right here. So this place isn't exactly screaming entertainment, it's more screaming you're going to get murdered and nobody will ever find you, which I suppose is more accurate. However, it's not the message I'm trying to project, so things must be changed. The biggest, most glaring issue is the fact that, well, it is literally in the middle of nowhere. I made this on a flat overland world, which means it has the benefit of being able to build wherever I want, while simultaneously having the drawback of there being absolutely nothing around for miles and miles. Make this place look somewhat lived in. I'm gonna build some parking right outside, but I'm not gonna make it huge because that would just be a huge waste of my time. Honestly, for this, I just looked up pictures of a car park on Pinterest, and I've kind of copied the general themes. It's literally, it's nothing special at all. It is just a car park. And then I add some greenery, and there you go. So now that we have a place for customers to wait, while they're getting pizza, we need something that entices them into the restaurant to spend their hard-earned money on overpriced, slightly stale, definitely reheated pizza. And what would that be? But more greenery. So by adding some trees along here, some bushes out front, and maybe one more tree in the centre, and the front bit of the outside is also done. Never mind, I'm getting rid of this tree because it blocks the entrance and you can't see it. And that is quite important when you're running a business. They have to see where they're going. Okay, now it looks better and you can actually see where you're about to go. So the front is done, apart from that path, which I do need to do in a minute. Now we can do the back. This is our employees only bit, so I really want to give it that vibe of I'm getting paid minimum wage, I can't be bothered, you know? So we're gonna make it quite dead and grey, you know, rubbish everywhere, a couple different bins. Make it look like a jail, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, you gotta see the vision. Okay, do you understand what I mean now when I said jail cell? Because, I mean, tell me this does not look like jail. Anyway, we've got the back that looks dead, some dead plants, bins. Like, I know Five Nights at Freddy's is set in America, right? The whole thing's American. I don't know what American bins look like. Or, I mean, I don't know what colours associate with them. Because in the UK, we've got green recycling. Is it green recycling? Well, we've got green, black, and brown for recycling, like natural stuff, and then general rubbish. Yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna go with that because I can't be bothered to look it up. And there's nothing wrong with that. Then over here, we've got some, excess bin bags. They've just been stacked up with some well, anyway, this means this back is done. And with the exception of the path, which I will do in a minute, just trust. That is the outside also done. There is one fairly gaping issue, however, with this restaurant. And to put it in a certain way, let's just hope it doesn't rain. I'm gonna fix that. Now this looks really nice. And most people would think it would be fine to just leave it here. But I am not going to leave it here. I want to make this restaurant usable, which means one thing. That is right. I'm going to be putting my very mediocre redstone skills to the test and make this place actually a FNAF restaurant, you know? First thing is Foxy's Cove. Now, what I'm picturing is a button you press, and then Foxy pops up and surprises you. He greets all the children, and then you press the button again, and down he goes. And you can do that, however regularly you want to schedule a show. So I've made this. I've made for Foxy. So it will just be he jumps up, lands on the thing, and then we all have fun. What? Do you actually mind? This is what I've made for Foxy. So he just jumps up, lands, says hello to children, and then goes away again. So boom. That is rather impressive, if I do say so myself. It shows my complete lack of any sort of redstone skills. That impresses me. But, I'm pretty proud of myself. After a freaking long time, oh my days. Finally. Oh my days, it's not working again. I'm gonna kill myself. Finally, after a long time, it works, proving no redstone can thwart me. I am unbeatable. Oh my goodness, that took me far too long. The main band of animatronics, they're fairly similar to what I've got going on here. Apart from, rather than just standing still, they're going to be doing a bit more moving. I've cooked up for the other three. So with that one, it goes up, and it stands there. With this one, if I would just demonstrate, it pops up. And then it keeps on moving using the bubble elevator, It's almost like it's dancing, I hope. That's what I'm going for. Anyway, basically, the way this one works is it's pretty much the same. You just send the redstone signal down, and that triggers the bubble elevator. So if I just click that, soul sand would move, bubble elevator would just stop working, and that would sink, and then it would go up again. And then I'm basically going to do that 3 times for each animatronic, and hopefully this one takes me less time than that one. Oh my goodness. Less hassle, I have to say. These 3 are also done with just one flick of the lever. Give it a minute. Way, here they come. They will come to dance. I'll make the animatronics look more like animatronics in a minute. Just bear with, yeah? What I plan next is an idea that, well, certainly isn't canon. to anything, but I think it would be quite cool. And that is an automatic food transporter. What I mean by that is this. So you'll be working in the kitchen and you'll finish your food, put it in the chest, pull the lever / push the button, I haven't quite decided yet. Food gets transported into the chest, you can pick it up. The benefits of this? You don't have to pay as many wages. Capitalism, guys. Really doing redstone for the sake of doing redstone at this point. This is so unnecessary. When has anyone ever laid off human workers for machinery that is arguably less productive and actually costs people more money? I've personally never heard of anything like that. You just put it in the chest, flip the lever, and then it goes to the chest down here where, it just gets given to the people. I don't know. I've also had to move the door because this, it's right in the way of the hoppers. So I'll have to put a door here in a minute. With this done, I can't believe I'm saying it, but we only really have one major redstone thing left to do. But I feel like this is the most important of them all, It's the most iconic. It's the doors. It's rather embarrassing to admit, but I low-key have no idea how I would do doors. Like, given the space I have, and these walls, and you'd have to go up, and then you have to go one down, but I just don't... It's not... I can't think of that right now. So we're going with iron doors, because, they're reliable, they'll keep out animatronics, and the windows are just window panes. And this is what I've done for the office. Please don't... Oh my goodness, it's been a long day. Now, one thing every good capitalist organisation knows is you cannot have people coming in your place for free. That's why the next thing we're going to add are some turnstiles, to separate the paying customers from the freeloaders. And so, in practice, what you would do, you would enter our fine establishment, you'd come over, and you would find it already open, except you wouldn't find it already open. You'd put your ticket in, and you'd enter. How the thing closes? I don't know. That's not my job. Well, it probably is my job, but... I mean... Then you go and have fun. And that's all that really matters, because that is what this establishment is for. With this absolutely flawless entry system created, I suppose the only thing that's really left to do is, well, make the animatronics look like animatronics. Oh my goodness, I have had a mare. I start by thinking, I can just download a mod that makes player heads, so I can put the player heads on armor stands and make the animatronics. The mod doesn't work. I can't get the mod to be compatible. It just doesn't work. That's fine, I think. Maybe I can just add a mod that adds, the entire model rather than just the head. I try that. That also doesn't work. Oh my goodness. So both of those ideas are completely out the window. So we're just gonna have to do something that looks not great. This does not look great, does it? But you know what? I am so beyond caring that this is what we've got. Okay, this is our Fazbear band, and we are all going to like it. And on that rather funky looking note, I would like to thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video, because it seems we have come to an end. If you could like and subscribe, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And I hope to see you back for my next video, probably in about 7 months, considering the rate I'm going. Anyways, please do enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you very soon.